Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have an update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows for you. And I am happier with my progress than I expected. Like, a little happy, a little less happy, but let's go through it. So starting off with the one that I've been working on the longest in the original palette from Sleek. I'm working on the dark blue shade right here. Definitely a harder one to incorporate. Dark blue is not a shade that I would reach for normally. As you guys know, maybe I'm trying to go for 5 uses every single time I update you guys at the very least on most of these shadows. Didn't completely get there. For this one, I've used it 2 more times. Brings me to a total of 17, but the dip really is getting dippy. I hope you can see that better in the close-up. And I think there is potential for me to hit pan on this one by next time. Potential if I actually focus on it, of course. But yeah, let's see how we're gonna do. I'm gonna quickly swatch it as well because we don't want to forget that this is what that shade looks like. So it's definitely a dark shade, like almost a blackish base with like that blue shimmer, and you can see when the light hits it, it gets a bit more blue. So yeah, that's that one. Then one that I've used even more, the Decay shadow box. In here I'm working on the shade Lost. As you guys know, some of these are interfering a little bit with my Pan palette. I've got browns in there as well, and this one is similar enough. So I have not used this one. This time around I've decided to focus in on the other brown that's in this project, so no major progress. There is a slightest bit of a dip in here from previous use. That is what the shade looks like right there. And this one I have used 12 times now, which is actually not too bad of a usage, but I'm definitely gonna need some time to get through that one because it does not look like I've used it 12 times at this point. Then we have Boxed. Boxed is in the Sleek Also Special palette, and this one has a little bit of plastic in between. This is yet another brown. This is a really dark brown right here. I've decided that this one, in a way, is less similar to what I'm using in my Pan palette because it's a matte. So I've decided to focus on this one more than on the other one because I can only focus on so many like browns like this at a time. So focus on this one first. Once I finish off this one, I will be focusing on the Lost shade a little bit more again as well. So this one I did manage to use 5 times over the last month, which is not too bad. That is what that one looks like. It's kind of like it has a bit of a gray tinge to it as well, but definitely still very much a brown and a matte, as you can see. And this one, after those 5 uses, I've used it 6 times. I do have pans in a few shades in here, and there are some mattes in there as well. They are a bit more crumbly. Now I do feel like this one is definitely more hardly pressed than the pink, for example, that I did hit pan on, but like the Sleek shadows aren't like majorly hardly pressed most of the time. So I'm just gonna keep working on it. I'm not expecting pan by next time at all, but yeah, let's see how we will do. Then next Sleek palettes, Sleek Jewels palettes. In here I'm working on the red shade, like the red coppery type of shades right here. And I think you can see it. I did manage to hit pan on this one. I knew that this was the most likely contender to be hitting pan on, but to be honest, I was not expecting to hit pan this time around. I thought it was gonna take me a little bit longer still, but then it turned out it only took me 2 more uses and there was pan. So that is the shade right there. Also very much in that brownish family, as you can see. But yeah, I really enjoyed using that one. I do really like that type of shades. I do have something similar in my Pan palette, so shades like this won't be rolling in again, I promise. Until of course I've hit I emptied the pan in my Pan palette. But yeah, that shade will be rolling out, and I don't know why I'm putting it on my hand here then, because I should be swatching it somewhere else. Anyway, next shade. The last shade that I rolled in most recently is in my Catrice The Seasons Must Have palette, and it is the matte gray shade right here. I have been using this a little bit more because it is a fairly easy transition shade. Actually, I have that in my crease at the moment, and I have boxed the matte brown to darken it up a little bit more. So this is transition, box to darken it up, and then some Pan palette shades alongside it. You can definitely see that I'm starting to use it. There is the slightest bit of a dip starting to form in there, but mostly it's just like you can see the disturbance on the pan. I'm excited about that. I've used it 7 times in the last month, which also excited enough about that. And that brings me to a total of 12 uses. Jewels, I actually only needed 9 uses to hit pan on, which, yeah, definitely less than I expected. But 12 uses on this one, definitely need a little bit more still. We're gonna see. I think it's definitely gonna be like at least 2 or 3 more updates before I'm anywhere near pan. But it is easier enough for me to incorporate this alongside all the other things that I'm working on. So I do expect this to move maybe quicker than some of the other shades in here. But yeah, oh, swatch of this one as well, of course. So this is what that one looks like, and that one is a better match again for the blue. As you can see, it's just a matte gray, not too dark, not overly light either. Yeah, so this is the palette that I have been working on, and surprisingly enough, I'm gonna roll something new in. I was not expecting that, but I'm gonna get my laptop, get my phone ready, and see if we can randomize a new shade. Okay, I've got what I need for the reroll here. I've got my laptop, I've got my pre-random app open. Let's talk numbers really quickly first. So I have 49 eyeshadows with pan on it right now because I hit a new one. So 49 in total. I have 162 eyeshadows in total, and that does not include pans that I've already finished anymore, which brings me to a pan percentage of 30.2, so I'm at the 30 now. Now I will be finishing off some shadows soon-ish probably, so that will probably bring the number down a little bit. So we just need to make sure we keep hitting pan, and that will solve the problem. Easy. Then let's see, so I have 8 eyeshadows in other projects already, and that gives me a total of 105 eyeshadows that I can still pick from. So let's see what we end up with. Number 14, that is right at the start, and number 14 is a shade called Harlot in the Urban Decay Vice palette. Let's see what it is. I'm gonna get the palette and we're gonna take a look together. Okay, here it is, and to ease you guys' minds, if it is something that interferes with something about Pan palette, we're not going to go for it. I'm not overly familiar with all the names in this palette, so I'm not actually sure what type of shade Harlot is. Now, if it does interfere, we're going to stick with the palette, but we're going to do a re-roll for just the amount of shades in here and see if we can end up with something that's not too interfering. So let's take a look at what Harlot is. It's somewhere in the middle of the palette. And I think it will interfere very badly with a lot of things that I've got going on. Harlot is this shade right here. So it's a shimmery, like purple with a bit of a gray tinge to it as well. It's a very muted color, which I'm not working on a lot of those. It can work as a transition type thing. It does have a bit of a shimmer to it, so need to see if it's not like too reflecting for that. Let me swatch this guy as well. I'm gonna put it right next to all the other things. Can you even see it? It is very light. Okay, let me take another go just to build it up a little bit more right here. So it's, I guess because of the reflection, it's lighter. It looks lighter like this than the gray right here. But I think they're on a similar level of deepness in a way. Just the shimmer makes it more, like appear more light. It's yeah, I think it's an easy enough color to incorporate with what I'm working on. It's a bit more cool toned, which I guess could work nicely with that blue right here. I've got some cooler tone shades in my Pan palette that I haven't worked on loads yet, so yes, we can definitely play with that. So kind of looking at it like this, does that work? Can you still see the gray that's underneath? This is a palette that we're working with right now. For me, honestly, this is not the most exciting palette because I just do like the warmer colors more, and the browns are just kind of generic or something along those lines, but it's totally fine. Like this is something that I can easily work with kind of alongside my Panda palette. I feel like I said kind of a fair bit there. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas on how to use any of these shades, do let me know, and definitely how to incorporate them with my Panda palette. And then we'll go from there. Now, talking goals for next time, I definitely want to make sure I again have a good few uses on the gray right here. I want to use boxed at least 5 times, and want to use Harlot at least 5 times as well. Now I'm hoping secretly, but not so secretly because I'm telling you guys, that I might be able to hit pan in that dark blue shade. Now there are some other dark shades that I want to focus on before I have updates for other projects, like my Panner's Pan and a little bit my Panda palette as well, of course. But after that, I think I'm gonna try and go for this one a little bit more. It's not the most amazing shade for this time of year as well, so I think it's gonna be good to see if I can roll that out. I'm hoping that another 5, 6, 7 uses might get me there. So yep, we're gonna see. Thank you guys very much for watching once again, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye.